Hello and welcome to this Teknov8 video where we're going to concentrate and focus on Acronis's remote monitoring and management. So here I am logged into the Acronis Cyber Protect Cloud console, and I'm in the main sort of overview area where you can see a high level view of what's going on in my lab environment. So what we're going to do is come down to devices, and what I'm going to do is choose one of my systems that's running the RMM, and one of the features that I can show you is remote management. So this is where I can connect to a device that is on a remote network from where I am. And as you can see, I can choose just to view only, or in this case, I'm going to remote control the full machine. So let me just put in my credentials. And now that I've connected, I can connect to any users that might be on that server. But more importantly, as I've joined the session, you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, the session is actually being recorded and audited. So you'd be able to review that session to find out what software was maybe uninstalled or what patches perhaps were applied. We'll come back to this box in a second. And also, if you're talking about remote management and monitoring, you might want to see what software is installed on that device. So if we go into the inventory, we can see what software has been installed. We can see also the hardware and disk configuration and IP addresses, etc. And if there's any USB devices connected, which there's not in this case. Another thing that I'd like to show you is location tracking. This is where you can see all of your devices on a map. So let's move down to management. And this is where you can create your RMM and EDR plans. So for example, if I go and edit one of my plans, you can see all of the different features that I've enabled. So in this case, I've enabled URL filtering. So if we look into that, we can see that I've decided to block one category, which is called gambling sites. And also I've put an explicit Facebook rule that will be blocked. So if I return back to my VM and open up a browser and try to go to Facebook, that is of course blocked. And the same would be for any gambling websites. And coming down in that list, you can see there's many different options about how I'm managing the desktop firewalls, whether I'm patching the server, and the type of control I have on that device. If I come down to the script repository, this is where Acronis has a whole host of different scripts that you could run on a device. Maybe you would like to clear the DNS cache, or maybe that server is running out of disk space and you might want to clear the temp folders. So there's all sorts of scripts already there waiting for you to utilize. Now let's come down to software management. And let's just start with the library of different applications that are already available for you to push out to your devices and install. So for example, we've got 7-zip. And if we go to click on add that product, you can see that Acronis has all of the different revisions of that piece of software. So if you had stringent change control, you could choose to maybe only ever install version 24.09 as an example. So if we go back to my packages, you can see that I've got VL Player that I've added into the library, and then I can go and choose to either install or uninstall that from any of my devices. So what we'll do is we'll install that into my test system. So we'll choose installing VLC player, and now I'll choose the workload that I'd like to apply that to, which is test box 1, and I'm going to click add. And once I'm ready, I'm simply going to click install to install that application. Okay, so let's return to my virtual machine. And if you keep an eye on the icons there, amazing. So that's how easy it would be to install and push packages out to all of your endpoints. Now, of course, If you're doing software inventory and you know about all of the applications that's installed on that workstation, and you also know what patches have been applied, or more importantly, haven't been applied, that's where Acronis really comes into its own with its vulnerability assessments. So I can see if there is a high, medium, or low vulnerability that's been detected across my environment. I can see what devices are affected, and I can simply go straight away to install and schedule those patches to be installed. And that's it. It's as simple as that. Thanks ever so much for watching.